Jefferson City Police are investigating the city's first murder of the year tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain.
And I'm Kevin Coe. Thanks for joining us. KOMU 8's Max Cotton spoke with Jefferson City Police about how they're still looking for the person responsible.
As of a few hours ago, police had not identified any suspects in the investigation of yesterday's murder of 41-year-old Ronald Rattler. Authorities were called to the 600 block of Clark Avenue, where they found Rattler's body. I saw a few candles and flowers placed outside the house in remembrance of the victim. Originally, the police department called this a death investigation, but that changed yesterday after speaking with a number of people believed to have some knowledge of his death. Police now rule it a homicide.
Certainly interested in a number of different persons who may or may not have knowledge of the incident. That takes a lot of time, and the value of that, of course, is that the more we can do that, the more we can either corroborate some stories or evidence that might be pertinent or accurate, and by the same token, we can eliminate potential theories otherwise, too.
If you have any information about the case, call Jefferson City Police or Crime Stoppers at 659-TIPS. In the studio, Max Cotton, KOMU 8 News.
Another mid-Missouri high school had threats made it to it over the weekend. Two teens made verbal threats to a California high school student, saying they shouldn't go to school today. Both teens were taken into custody yesterday. The superintendent, Dwight Sanders, says after meeting with police this morning, he felt safe sending students to school. There was an increased police presence at all schools in California today. Sanders says he can relate to parents because his own children went to school there.
Yeah, it puts it in a perspective when you've got your own children and can identify with anybody that has children that go to school here. Obviously, it's a level of anxiety that you don't want to have to face.
The school had administrators and counselors on hand for any students that wanted to voice their questions or concerns.
This threat marks the fourth one made in mid-Missouri in the last 10 days. Jefferson City Police detained two 15-year-olds for a possible threat against a high school student last Thursday. And just over a week ago in Columbia, police took a 13-year-old into custody for posting a video to Snapchat some students viewed as a threat. That same week, Callaway County deputies detained a different 13-year-old for a threat made toward a Vaz elementary school. The Florida Senate passed a bill today that would allow some teachers to carry guns in school and would increase some restrictions on buying firearms. The Senate voted 20-18 in favor of the bill, which was proposed after the Parkland High School shooting left 17 students and faculty dead. The bill added new restrictions on rifle sales, raising the age to buy them from 18 to 21. It will also allow for more mental health programs in schools. The Senate says it added limits to which teachers can participate in a proposed program to carry guns. Governor Eric Greitens announced a new initiative right here in Missouri today to crack down on opioid overprescription. The initiative, laid out in a news release, warns Medicaid providers to reform their practices. Greitens says providers could potentially lose their license if they don't follow the Center for Disease Control's guidelines for opioid prescriptions. He also says more communication between departments, including mental health and social services, could help improve enforcement.
At MU, faculty members are sounding off about the direction the university is headed. Some of the biggest concerns for Chancellor Alexander Cartwright since taking the job last summer include declining enrollment numbers and budget issues. Today, he met with faculty. KOMU8's Charles Nicholson was at the meeting and joins us live on campus. Charles, what was the tone of the meeting?
There was a lot of frustration, particularly over the proposed elimination of 27 graduate programs. To give you an idea of the interest, more than 4 times the number of professors needed to call a special meeting signed a petition demanding discussion. Professors across departments, from English to engineering, used the opportunity to voice their displeasure with how certain programs were selected for elimination, saying the process wasn't right. They said the database used to make comparisons doesn't reflect MU and isn't being used at certain universities elsewhere. But Chancellor Cartwright said that data was not a major component in the task force final report. Administrators say they have to make a tough decision somehow, but faculty members want a different process.
It has a serious distorting process. I mean, it has an effect that it distorts the data, it distorts what faculty members do, it omits many things, and we can do much better.
We've got to make some strategic decisions about where and how we'll invest the resources that the state invests in us and that parents invest in us with their tuition dollars, and we're going to have to make difficult decisions about where we will invest invest to achieve the level of excellence that the state of Missouri is expecting the flagship university in the state to deliver.
Interim Provost Jim Spain said the next step will be compiling information from the Dean's Council, in addition to the task force previous report. Chancellor Cartwright said the plan was always to have a decision by the end of the spring semester. Reporting live in Columbia, Charles Nicholson, KOMU 8 News.
Thank you, Charles. Now, the meeting comes after a month of back and forth from students and faculty and MU administrators. MU announced back in January the university saw an increase in applications for the 2018 school year. Then, the task force sent out recommendations to cut 27 graduate programs with changes starting this fall. MU made an announcement last week saying it will likely not renew contracts for some non-tenured track faculty next year.
A former Trump campaign aide is fighting back against a grand jury subpoena. BC's Blaine Alexander is in Washington with the latest on why the former aide won't comply.
President Trump facing what could be a new turn in the Russia investigation. Special counsel Robert Mueller sending a grand jury subpoena for documents about the president and some of his closest campaign advisors dating back to November 2015. Today, former Trump aide Sam Nunberg defiantly telling NBC News he will not comply.
I'm not going to produce them every email I had with Steve Bannon and Roger Stone from November 1 of 2015. What do I have to produce them all my communication?
The subpoena suggests the investigation is narrowing to focus on what President Trump knew about Russian election meddling. In a live interview on MSNBC, Nunberg echoed the president, calling the investigation a witch hunt, but later seeming to say the exact opposite.
You sat there in that room being questioned by Mueller's investigators. I want to hear directly from you. Do you think that they have something on the president?
I think they may.
What?
I think that he may have done something during the election, but I don't know that.
The White House responding.
I definitely think he doesn't know that for sure because he's incorrect. As we've said many times before, there was no collusion.
Nunberg says he is basing his conclusion on the questions investigators asked and the way they asked them.
It insinuated to me that he may have done something.
When questioned about defying a federal court order, Nunberg responded, "I think it would be funny if they arrested me."
Nunberg says he won't appear before a grand jury on Friday, despite the subpoena's orders.
President Trump is also standing his ground despite pushback over his plan to impose tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. The president says he's not backing down after criticism from lawmakers and world leaders. The lawmakers spoke out saying they are uncertain about the future and are asking the president to change his mind. But President Trump says he plans to negotiate further in the future.
That would be, I would imagine, one of the points that we'll negotiate. It will be tariffs on steel for Canada and for Mexico.
President Trump says the tariffs are necessary to protest against foreign competitors.
We had some showers and storms early this morning. Maybe you heard some of the thunder out there. Let's send it over to Kenton to see how the rest of the week is shaping up. Kenton.
Yeah, Emily, that thunder was definitely music to this meteorologist's ears last night. We haven't heard it for a very long time. A lot of clear skies out there right now, though. We do have some cloud cover that's slowly going to start to move in. That's from the north, though, this time around. You can see some snow up there in Iowa as well. Slight chances for that even in about 24 hours. Otherwise, 43 right now in Columbia, 48 in Jefferson City, 49 at Lake Ozark. A little colder up north, already at 39 at Moberly, 37 at Mexico this hour. Winds calming down overnight tonight. Great news for us, only at 9 miles an hour in Columbia. And then hour by hour, if we look for the rest of our night, temperatures will cool down into the 30s for all of us in mid-Missouri by sunrise tomorrow morning. And then we warm back up just into the middle 40s, though, tomorrow afternoon. And we have clouds again increasing. Chances for some rain, maybe even a little bit of snow tomorrow evening. I'm tracking that hour by hour, and we'll look ahead to the rest of the new work and school week right after the break.
Thank you, Kenton. Coming up later in the show, some trade groups distrust the city's transparency in spending. Columbia City Council responds tonight.
Track storms wherever you are. Download the free KOMU 8 Weather and Traffic app. Brought to you by University Subaru.
Woodman Engineering has been family-owned for over 85 years, servicing, repairing, and installing furnaces in Jefferson City and the surrounding communities with reliable service and fair pricing. Woodman specializes in residential and light commercial and is a Carrier Factory authorized dealer. Your home's comfort keeper. Visit WoodmanEngineering.com.
You bought a gun to protect your family. What next? Without real training, you can still be in danger. At Target Masters, our instructors train with the nation's top defense experts, not just once, but every year. Our courses teach you how to defuse conflict, where carrying your firearm could get you arrested, when and when not to use deadly force, and what you must say to the police if you do. When you carry a gun, your life and your freedom are in your hands. Train with Target Masters and be sure.
This developing news out of Jeff City this morning.
Governor Eric Greitens has been indicted.
Scandals in Jefferson City. Now real questions about Attorney General Josh Hawley. He took nearly $3 million from a single donor accused of an illegal pay-to-play scheme with lawmakers. But Josh Hawley's taken no action. He said he saw nothing wrong, even though he admitted he hadn't looked at evidence in the case. Josh Hawley, he's just part of the problem in Jefferson City. SMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. Triple the fun at Slumberland's 3-day sale. Get an extra $100 off your purchase of $5.99 or more. Get up to 70% off. For 3 days only, get this bed for just $2.99 while they last. Get an extra $100 off your purchase of $5.99 or more. Plus, pay no interest for 4 years. The 3-day sale at Slumberland. It's a good life.
Introducing Zerona, the first FDA-cleared laser treatment to remove fat without surgery, pain, or recovery time. Zerona's proven technology empties your fat cells and reduces them to a smaller size. Listen to what an actual patient has to say.
In 9 Zerona sessions, I lost 3.9 inches of fat, 2.5 being in my hips and my thighs. I was so excited with the results.
Call now to schedule your free consultation.
Woodman Engineering has been family-owned for over 85 years, servicing, repairing, and installing furnaces in Jefferson City and the surrounding communities with reliable service and fair pricing. Woodman specializes in residential and light commercial and is a Carrier Factory authorized dealer. Your home's comfort keeper. Visit WoodmanEngineering.com.
The First Alert Weather Cam is brought to you by the law firm of Harper, Evans, Wade, and Nettemeyer. We will fight for you. Get continuous coverage 24/7 on Twitter and Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at KOMU News and on Facebook.com/KOMU8.
Welcome back to KOMU News at 9 o'clock here in Mid-Missouri. CW time-lapse from the Columbia Regional Airport today. We definitely had a lot of cloud cover there throughout the day as well. Looks like that time-lapse actually got a little frozen there this morning, but it gets going again once the clouds start to leave this afternoon. A lot of blue sky to end the day. It was a beautiful sunset as well out there across Mid-Missouri. Now temperatures at 43 degrees in Columbia. Now our average high temperature this time of the year heading into March, 52 degrees for the next 5 days. Based on climatology, now our high temperature for the next 3 days will be below that average. We're down into the 40s here, feeling a bit more like February the next couple days. 40 degrees on Wednesday, a cool, chilly day there. Then we're back up into the 50s though as we head towards the weekend. Friday, we're at 54, in the middle 50s still on Saturday with a bit more cloud cover for the weekend too. Now, looking at our temperatures all across the United States, you can see a lot of the United States is feeling a bit of this cool down. The warmest temperatures just down now south of Missouri at this point into the Boot Heel of Missouri. 43 already, though, in Columbia as this cool air pushes in from the north. 34 over in Des Moines and in Kearney, Nebraska as well. Now, satellite and radar shows with this cold system up to our north, we also have a bit of snow, some moisture up there too. And so as that continues to push off towards the east, we're going to have chances for just some of these bands of very light snow, pockets of moisture to move into our area tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening as well. So we're not expecting too much in the way of that. But we could have just some very brief pockets of rainfall tomorrow afternoon and then possibly even some flurries tomorrow night as well. But we're not expecting any accumulation from that because our ground temperature is going to be very warm, so you don't have to worry about accumulation. But if you see some flakes, that's a possibility. 34 degrees, though, for our low temperature tonight. Winds are from the west about 5 to 15 miles an hour, so it is a calmer night for us. But those winds are going to be windy tomorrow afternoon. We're talking about wind gusts around 45, possibly 50 miles per hour. So very windy and with dry conditions as well. You might want to lay off some outdoor burning as well. Could create some fire hazards there, but we are at 45 tomorrow afternoon. And again, we are mostly cloudy throughout our day with that pocket of light rain, maybe even some flurries as you head into our evening hours. Otherwise, we're at 40 degrees on Wednesday and then 43 on Thursday. We're still breezy on Wednesday, but definitely not as windy as we are tomorrow. Gusts around only 25 miles per hour there on Wednesday. Then we're at 54 by Friday. Breezy there too, warmer as we head into the weekend, and a lot of cloud cover over the weekend too with another slight chance for a brief sprinkle, maybe even a bit of a wintry mix heading into Sunday, but it's a little early out for that system, so we'll keep you updated as it moves closer. And don't forget daylight saving time. That begins on Sunday. You're going to want to move the clock forward an hour, lose an hour of sleep there. We'll keep you updated all week right here on KOMU 8. Stay with us. We'll be back right after the break.
You plan for everything in life, except the only thing that's for certain. Is it time for a frank discussion with your loved ones about final arrangements? It pays to discuss the details and the price when your family is not under stress. When you're ready, contact Bach-Yeager Funeral Chapel. Tour our newly remodeled facilities. We're not big and corporate. You'll deal directly with our owners. Whether it's an affordable traditional service or a simple cremation, count on Bach-Yeager Funeral Chapel. Personalized service with dignity, care, and respect.
The KOMU 8 iPhone and Android News app is brought to you by University Subaru. Download yours today.
Since its successful 3-year run on Broadway, Swiss-based theater troupe Mummenschanz has pioneered a new form of visual theater that has since spawned multiple new genres, reclaiming their legacy by creating a playful yet compelling experience through the inventive use of shadow, light, and creative manipulation of objects. Mummenschanz offers timeless insight on the human condition. The result is a visually stunning spectacle that transcends cultural barriers and sparks the imagination. University Concert Series, presented by KOMU 8 and these fine sponsors.
More than 104,000 people rely on the food bank for Central and Northeast Missouri on a regular basis as they struggle to feed their families.
I work full-time, but I still struggle to provide healthy meals for my children. The cost of my medications keep going up, and then I can't afford to buy food.
I'm a veteran who fought for our country. Now I'm battling for our next meal.
Join KOMU 8 in the fight against hunger in mid-Missouri. Visit sharefoodbringhope.org to learn how you can help share food and bring hope.
Here's what's happening right now. 3 Columbia groups want to know how exactly the city is spending its money. That's because they believe the city is mishandling taxpayer dollars. They're calling for an outside audit to take a deeper look. KOMU 8's Justin Kolar is live at City Hall, where city leaders just discussed the issue. Justin?
The Columbia Police Officers Association, the Organization of Professional Firefighters, and the Columbia Board of Realtors all wrote memos to the city explaining why an audit is needed. The Board of Realtors says a look inside the city's pocketbook could help restore trust that they feel is missing. Members from all those groups are at the meeting tonight. Mayor Brian Treese said the audit could be a great opportunity to improve public confidence. I talked with leaders from the Board of Realtors today who say the need for an audit at all signals issues between the city and voters.
But really that just also points out the issue of the overall lack of trust that the city has right now with the citizens just on fiscal issues in general. We don't think the city has a lot of credibility, and we think that's a deeper problem that needs to be addressed.
Now, City Council just voted on the resolution for the audit, and it passed just a few minutes ago. Now the discussion has shifted onto who will conduct the audit, how much it will cost, and what exact aspects of city government they would like the auditor to explore. Live from City Hall, Justin Kolar, KOMU 8 News.
Thank you, Justin. A House bill is looking to block porn sites from kids by putting software on devices before you buy them. Under the bill, all distributors that sell phones, tablets, and computers would have to activate specific blocking software to block pornography on every device they sell. People 18 and older can opt out, but would have to pay a $20 fee to remove the software. That money will go toward a fund to help prevent human trafficking. Jessica Neely, a rape survivor and former human trafficker, testified in favor of the bill. She says this bill has the potential to fund mental health services and victim services.
Right now, nonprofits are scrambling for funding. They're seeking out funding from the community, but this is for faith-based and non-faith-based. Nonprofit organizations can be funded, fully funded, by pornography's addiction.
Jim Durham with the Missouri Rental Dealers Association testified against the bill. He says this is only killing the messenger and not the message. He says the decision of blocking should be made by the individual.
The Trump administration fired back after a circuit court failed to make a decision on DACA before today's deadline. Trump criticized the San Francisco-based Ninth Circuit, saying it is ideologically motivated to oppose his policies. The inaction comes shortly after the Supreme Court declined to hear a direct appeal requiring the program for young, undocumented dreamers to remain in effect. West Virginia public school teachers are on their 8th day of a strike. They're demanding a 5% raise from state lawmakers. Governor Jim Justice and teachers union leaders agreed last week that teachers and service personnel would receive that raise, and the House approved the proposal, but the Senate passed a 4% increase. Teachers say they will continue to strike until they get that last percent.
Now, Emily, one Tiger is only getting better and better as the season goes on.
Sure is. What teammates are saying about this star freshman next in sports.
Okay, it's Ford Truck Month, and here's how it works. You take F-150, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, work in best-in-class towing and payload, sweeten up the offer, and boom, look who just saved a stack of cash. Step on it, sport. Drive home America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. Ford Truck Month is here. It's buy now time, people. During Truck Month, get up to $10,500 total savings on F-150, plus a no-charge 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain service plan. Only at your quality Ford dealers.
This guy's about to get hosed by hidden fees. Because if you're not with U.S. Cellular, you're probably getting hit with activation fees and other random charges. Ooh. But at U.S. Cellular, we know what matters. No hidden fees and a strong signal. Here you go. And now get unlimited data for just $35 a month when you switch. But hurry, it's only for a limited time and only at U.S. Cellular, with a stronger signal in the middle of anywhere.
Count on the KOMU 8 News app to keep you connected all day to Mid-Missouri's news, weather, and sports. With breaking news, the latest videos on developing stories, Target 8 investigations, and watch KOMU 8 newscasts live. Plus, full weather coverage from the live Doppler 8 First Alert weather team, local sports scores, school closings, and a place to share your photos and videos. Wherever you are, all day, stay connected to the stories that matter to you. Download the free KOMU 8 News app for coverage you can count on. Closed captioning during KOMU 8 News is brought to you by Costcutter's Family Hair Salon, a KOMU 8 caring company. Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Hi, everyone. We're less than a week away from Selection Sunday, but before that, the start of the SEC tournament Wednesday. Missouri will not play until Thursday afternoon after earning the 5 seed with its win over Arkansas. The Tigers will await the winner between Vanderbilt and Georgia. That game Wednesday night. They beat both those teams by a combined 20 points this season. St. Louis hosts this conference tournament for the first time. The Gateway City, the home of Missouri's Jordan Barnett, and of course nearby East St. Louis is the home of Coach Conzo Martin and freshman Jeremiah Tillman. And yet it's another Mizzou freshman honored today by the SEC. The conference announced Jonte Porter as its Freshman of the Week. Jonte averaged nearly 22 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists per game in Tiger victories at Vanderbilt and against Arkansas. The award is Porter's first weekly conference honor.
I won't lie, I didn't expect everything that he's brought. He's brought an extremely good rebounder, extremely good shot blocker, really good interior defender, really good passer, extremely high basketball IQ player. For somebody that's supposed to be in high school right now, I think that's huge, and honestly, I don't think there's a better all-around big man in the country than Jonte.
Porter not the only Mizzou athlete to be recognized. Louisville slugger named Bryce Montez de Oca National Player of the Week after he threw 7 no-hit innings Friday night against Maryland-Baltimore County. The Tiger bullpen then helped complete the program's 10th no-hitter and first since 2005. Back in 2005, it was Max Scherzer, whom you may have heard of, who started that one. On the diamond we stay, but across town, 2 Columbia Cottage Cougars are AMC Player of the Week honorees. The softball team was down in Gulf Shores Invitational. Carly Leeper's bat booming, .550 average in 20 at-bats. She had 3 homers and 7 runs driven in, earning her first weekly honor. For the men's side, Andrew Warner of the Cougar baseball team batted .474, helping the Cougars to a 5-0 week. The senior hammered 3 homers and drove in 11. The Cardinals have extended the contract with 24-year-old shortstop Paul DeYoung. He signed a 6-year deal for $26 million guaranteed. The deal has 2 club options, which could make it an 8-year pact for $51.5 million. DeYoung's guaranteed $26 million deal is the largest ever to a player with less than 1 year of Major League service time. The National League Rookie of the Year runner-up batted .285 last season with 25 home runs. Cards and the Washington Nationals in spring training play this afternoon. 3rd inning, Luke Weaver gives up this opposite field home run to Andrew Stevenson, the only run Weaver allowed in 3 innings. The Birds tied up, though, in the 5th inning. Jose Martinez scores on the errant throw to second, and it's a tie ball game. Later, Jose Adolis Garcia doubles home Luke Voigt, giving the Cards a lead. The bullpen closed the door, and St. Louis held that lead for the win, 2-1. And that's sports.
At Slumberland, the prices on all kinds of mattresses are going down, up to 60% off, like the Sealy Luxury Firm mattress for just $3.99. Plus lots more. The store-wide mattress sale at Slumberland. It's a good life.
Pleasant interruptions? A phone call from an old friend. Finding out you've won a prize. Bad interruptions? Allergies and asthma. Columbia Allergy and Asthma Specialist tests for a wide range of allergies and treats you with your custom plan so that your symptoms go away. Flowers, pets, changing seasons, you can enjoy them. We'd like to help. Go to breatheeasyandlivefree.com or call for an appointment.
Columbia Allergy and Asthma Specialist.
At Slumberland, the prices on all kinds of great stuff are going down. Get up to 65% off, like this sofa for just $3.99, or this bed for just $2.99. Come see what's going down at Slumberland. It's a good life.
Now here's a look at what we're following on KOMU 8 News at 10. We'll have the latest updates on further progressions on stories tonight.
Yes, we have a live recap of the City Council meeting where we have one of our reporters standing by there with the latest from that meeting. Kenton.
All right, let's take a look at the flu index. Now, there is some good news here. The entire nation is no longer red. You can see some yellow, which is just local activity, and Oregon and in Vermont as well, then regional activity in Minnesota and Texas. The rest of us, though, still have widespread flu activity going on throughout the states. Otherwise, 43 in Columbia, 48 in Jefferson City right now, all of us down into the 30s by sunrise at 34 degrees there, and then increasing clouds tomorrow, some sprinkles possible tomorrow afternoon, and then some flurries or even some pockets of light snow tomorrow evening, but we're not expecting much accumulation from that, so don't worry too much.
How things can change.
I thought it was going to be warm.
I know. It would be nice, wouldn't it? All right, folks, that's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.
On air